Hey guys, this is your friend John Whitney. On behalf of Chip, Greg, and Dino, we would like to invite you to join us for our annual live Halloween show this Thursday at the Jury Room in downtown Columbus. Empath and actor Ralph Scott will join us, as well as Chris Hamill of the Gateway Film Center, letting us know about spooky films coming this month. And the owner of the Jury Room, Megan Dempsey, will share spooky tales of the haunted Jury Room. That's all this Thursday. Doors are at 7. Show starts at 8. A link to tickets is below in the description. Hope to see you there. Now let's get to the show.
Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis, and October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month. Now, what do whiskey and Down syndrome have in common? Therein lies the magic, my friends. My guest, Kari Jones from DSACO, and Mike Messina tonight on Whiskey Business. Dino Tripodis, and welcome to Whiskey Business, the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. And tonight, something kind of special this evening. It was about 22 years ago that some friends of mine asked me what I was doing on a given Sunday, and I said, not much. They had a daughter with Down syndrome, and they said there's this thing called the Buddy Walk for Down syndrome, and they're looking for a host, and you know, they can't pay anything. I said, I don't want any money. I mean, you know, I love you and, you know, love your family. And sure, I'll do it. And it was a small gathering, I believe, at the Franklin Park of about 150, maybe 170 people. And I did not know a lot. I was not ignorant in respects to Down syndrome, but I did not know a lot about Down syndrome. And my life wasn't changed that Sunday. That's too dramatic. But I was, however, extremely enlightened. My heart opened up. I mean, I experienced and saw love and joy on a whole different level that I had not ever seen before in respects to family, children, relatives, etc., etc. And that's when I really learned a lot more about Down syndrome, the families that are with children with Down syndrome, young adults, teenagers, because over the last now 22 years, it has been a joy to be part of this organization and to do fundraisers for them and to do the Buddy Walk, which by the time this podcast drops, the Buddy Walk will have already had another successful 10,000 plus people gathering. 10,000 from that humble beginning of 150 now has grown to tens of thousands of people over the years. It's just an amazing thing. So before I get any further along in this podcast, and we talk about some wonderful things tonight, because we're going to give you a lot of information that you can keep and use and share. If you have the opportunity to get involved, do. It will change your life for the better, because I'm envious. I'm envious of the joy, the sincerity, the lack of ill will that each and every child, teenager, young adult with Down syndrome has. I wish that we could live our lives half as well in respects to that type of magnificence that is those wonderful people, including the one I'm sitting right across. Mike Messina is with us tonight.
Hello.
Mike Messina, who I've had the pleasure of chatting with before on a very special series of videos that we did for DSACO.
Yep.
And Kari Jones
Hi.
is here from DSACO. Your official title is, I never get it right.
I think it's president and CEO, but
Yeah,
you know,
but
like
who
really,
goes-
honestly, I'm just there to serve. I'm there to serve my team. I'm there to serve my families. People with Down syndrome, other developmental disabilities. That's my job.
Yeah.
Make everybody happy.
You have a brother.
I have a brother, Alex, who's 38, who has Down syndrome. And so my family was welcomed to the Down Syndrome Association of Central Ohio back in 1985.
Wow.
When Alex was born. And when I first started at DSACO, which was nearly 10 years ago now, on the first day, for whatever reason, I was looking through organizing things and saw these archives and found a newsletter from 1985 when Alex was born, and it was a newsletter before HIPAA was a thing, welcoming my family and baby boy Alex, Alex Jones, with sister Kari and parents were listed in the newsletter. That at that time it was so small that any family that joined had like a page, of just like a formal welcome in the newsletter, which was really cool to see. I've spent my career professionally in the field of developmental disabilities, but it's been an extra layer of amazing by a lot for the last 10 years.
Good way to put it, an extra layer. That's what I discovered was this extra layer of amazing.
Yeah.
And to been even the small part that I get involved with, to see you talk about developmental disabilities, to see the development over the years of incredible people like Mike and your brother, and to see children that I saw at the Buddy Walk that were babies and now are teenagers
or adults.
I know.
Like Mike, I don't know if you're still allowed to consider yourself a young adult at this point.
I help out, and plus I finally stepped up, become a lot more independent this time around.
You're super, but you're like an old man now, kind of.
How old are you?
I'm 43.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a young
43.
kid.
So
A young 43.
I feel very fortunate right now because I just turned 40, so I'm gonna give Mike a hard time because you're older.
I know about that.
I'm already feeling old, and so yeah.
Don't worry about that. It's the first time I met you. It was Special Olympics basketball.
Yeah.
And you were a coach for the Flyers.
Yeah, that was
basketball game.
That was really humbling experience.
She was a coach for the opposing team or your team?
Opposing team.
Oh.
Did you win? Who won?
Who won?
I don't know. It was kind of like neck and neck, kind of.
It was neck and neck,
Yeah.
and I remember being just trying to figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
Because
you knew nothing about basketball.
I actually didn't. I think I was essentially just like a ball girl for like getting the like basketballs that kind of went rogue. Luckily there were other coaches that did know what was going on. I was just kind of there for like just motivational purposes, I think, and just kind of like just an extra set of hands, really. So but when we talk about people with Down syndrome, it's an extra chromosome. So instead of 2 copies of 23 sets of chromosomes, it's an extra copy of the 21st chromosome. So when we love talking about the extra being so incredible, because
The
it's like
extra is
it really
incredible.
is an extra layer. It's an extra chromosome, but that something extra is what we think is like the special sauce.
It is.
Like
It is.
the extra piece.
It is.
It is.
It is. It is an extra layer of special sauce.
Always.
Yeah. I mean, you're a little bit biased, but like you're allowed to subscribe to that. You know?
And I don't know about that because I am more the sweetest guy ever.
You really are.
But
You are the sweetest guy ever.
I don't mind
But I
saying.
do want to say this in kind of loud, kind of. Sometimes I'm like one of those Magic Mike kind of.
You are Magic
Mike.
You were Magic Mike before there was a Magic Mike.
Yeah.
And,
I believe that.
Yeah. Now I'm not going to encourage you to start doing any type of dancing like Magic
No,
Mike.
I don't do it like that. That's my personal life for that one.
Yeah.
That's a different episode.
Oh my gosh, I love it. You are a sweetheart though. So Mike served as co-chair of our board for a while, and I was always a little scared. Like, he's my boss now. Is he going to be nice? What kind of boss is he going to be? Total
no
sweetheart.
confidence.
Total sweetheart. Total sweetheart. Was a great leader. Led a lot of events for us. Did public speaking for us, and even more recently with this event coming up.
Yes,
He was approached and they said, what organization do you think we should support for this event? And he said DSACO. So he's still a huge cheerleader, huge sweetheart, just incredible.
Yep. And I want to talk about that. I want this event early, and then we'll remind people again later.
Yeah.
But we said, how do whiskey business and Down syndrome come together for an episode. There's a very special event taking place out at Bridge Park at FADO'S in Dublin.
Oh, the Bridge Park one.
Yeah,
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 Fado.
Yep.
Fado
Clyde Mays Whiskey, which unfortunately due to scheduling was going to join us as well this evening. They could not. We tried to juggle everything around. Everybody's just so busy spinning their own plates. But Clyde Mays is having a barrel release at FADO'S. It's a beautiful single barrel of whiskey, and DSACO is involved in the proceeds of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is going to be great. And you know one of the reps for Clyde Mays, right? So, and how do you know her?
I know her from my students. What I know, I met her for that. But I was in her wedding.
Oh, you were in her wedding.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
In Ashley's wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were in Ashley's? Ashley is the
Yeah.
rep from Clyde Mays who couldn't join us this evening.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah.
And what do you call her?
We always call her nickname is always Crash. Well, that's what.
Crash?
Yeah.
Why Crash?
Because everybody been saying that at my sister a lot with that, because it's easy to pronounce her name a lot better than Ashley sometimes. It's easier, and plus
I'm
like
sure that's the only reason why.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
she's
you don't get the
clumsy.
nickname of Crash
Yeah.
without a backstory.
Bullhead child.
I love it. I love it. She's a huge sweetheart too, and so
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me that you guys are friends.
Yeah.
And she asked by she asked me a favor for whatever, and I told her about Kari Jones.
I'm the favor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
It's flattering.
Wow.
Yeah,
you.
because
Cheers to that.
because
Cheers.
I
kind.
I want to made and I want to ask her to do that because I want to be part of doing something with Kari Jones.
See? Always thinking of other people.
I love him.
He is. And do you normally, when we first met and chatted, your alcohol of choice was Busch Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
still your
remember
favorite. Yeah,
Yeah, still my favorite. I'm still
your
drinking that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do White Claws with over at Zeno's a couple times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Xenos. We were
Yeah.
at Xenos, right?
Yeah, we were at
That's where we
Zeno's.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's,
No, it's not. We shot at Meister's.
Oh, Meisters. I'm
But
sorry.
I'm
Yeah.
familiar with Zeno's.
Yeah,
I'm
because
like,
my buddy Mitch,
yeah,
he's owned Zeno's with his brother.
right.
So
They got a good jukebox there.
They
Yeah,
got-
jukebox there.
Zeno's is a nice
They don't
old
make
school.
bars like that
They know
anymore.
it's a great. I was just saying it's a great old school
Oh,
bar.
it is a good bar right there. So when Meister's also out, but I've been using Meister's. There used to be Amicons.
You get around.
yeah,
I get around.
You make the
these
rounds.
are all bars.
Yeah,
So
they're bars, but sometimes like
The man is a man about town.
Andy, sometimes when my first day I came down here in Columbus, Ohio, I was at my mom's first before I had got the job in Porgo.
before you got the job at Kroger.
Yeah, and then after I got the job there, that was back in July 307. Been there about 16 years over
Are you
there.
still at Kroger?
Yeah,
But you're hoping to explore. He wants to get into marketing, sales. He's hoping to explore it, and I think
I think.
this is a good group of people to be talking to about something like that, just to learn more about what skills you need to have, and things like that.
Well, he's a good people person. I
Yeah.
think that's
Yes,
it.
I
It
am.
starts there.
I know.
Yeah.
It
He
starts
could
there.
probably sell. What do they say? Ice to Eskimos.
Yeah.
This guy
Yeah.
could probably do that.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
a good one? I usually mix them with
I don't think
metaphors, so I'm
that's.
pretty proud of myself
That's
right
not
now.
That's good. It's a good
kosher anymore. Now let's say
Nope.
Eskimos.
Great. Okay, well, that's good. Of course, the one time I get it right.
You get, what'd you say?
It's
You're not allowed to say
kosher
Eskimos anymore.
Sure you are.
I'm kidding. I have no
Selling
idea.
ice to,
We can't cuss
indigenous
here either,
population.
right? Is
No,
that
you
the
can
thing?
cuss here.
You can cuss.
You can cuss here. Yeah, I was
Right.
gonna say, if you wanted another one, trying to sell, he could sell shit to a manure salesman.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
because I know this maybe a sales or marketing guy because I think it's my dad.
You want to do sales?
What do you
Sales
do?
and marketing. My dad's a senior floor covering, and he's sells carpet, and sometimes he market it.
Okay.
There you go. All right.
Salesman.
Yeah, salesman.
In the blood.
It's in the blood, yeah.
It's in
Yeah.
the blood.
Blood.
It's in the DNA.
Yeah,
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, my mom does the same thing kind of. She used to work like that before, but she would become a counselor then instead
She
than
decided.
going that spot.
Yeah, counselor's a little bit of a different route than salesperson.
A little bit, but still,
Yeah.
you got to listen and you got to
Yeah.
know people
Yeah.
and you have to pay attention and listen.
Yeah, that's why I pay attention with Jen a lot more because I need to listen to her sometimes because she's my girlfriend. Yeah, because she needs a lot more help also because she has really bad OCD and depression.
Okay.
Mike, did you have a girlfriend when we talked to you a couple years ago?
Yeah, that was back in my set at a broadcast we had with.
Same girl?
Same girl.
Same girlfriend.
Nice.
All
Same
right.
girlfriend.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah, and I remember you said that you were aware and took care, and that's
but now she's doing that by herself now.
That's great.
Good. And it's a work.
Yeah, it's working and. We finally make a lot more communications and scheduling and stuff, that kind of stuff now.
It's hard work being in a relationship.
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah.
But
everybody has it.
Cheers to that.
The old grind, am I right? Harum.
Hey.
I didn't get a harump out of that guy.
All right, so let me divert for just a second. We're drinking a Rebel cask strength Kentucky.
It's an OHLQ.
It is. It's Ohio. I was not part of this little this venture, but this is 124 proof.
It's
so if
strong.
it's OHLQ, it's that means that they've put some time and thought into it. I like it. It's spicy. I've never had it before.
It's super sweet.
Super
Very sweet up
and,
front.
and spicy. Mike, what do you think of it?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
You don't normally drink a lot of whiskey though on a regular basis.
I don't drink a lot
you?
of whiskey, but sometimes I do mix it with Jack and Coke sometimes.
Okay,
Oh.
Jack and Coke is okay.
Yeah.
There's certain whiskeys I would not say to put Coca-Cola in, but Jack and Coke is a staple. You're
Yeah,
all
Jack
right
and
there.
Coke is good, and I used to do a Long Island iced teas.
Well, yeah. It's sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
That's my Long Island iced teas is one of my top favorite ones.
That reminds me, I used to go to this bar on campus called Two's. It's not there anymore, but on Ohio State's campus, and they had
bar is still there?
none.
bar
I don't
is
think any. Well,
I don't know
no.
if any of the original
it's sad.
bars.
It's hard. Oh, the library, which has been there forever.
The
Yeah.
library, the varsity club.
The library, the varsity club,
Yeah.
and the Ruby Tuesdays, which is off of
Remember
Indian
Ruby's,
Old.
yeah.
Yep.
I was not, but I know about it.
You weren't there when they were filling up literally buckets of beer and
No.
plastic cups, and we all drank.
He was back there.
All drank out of the
Yeah.
same bucket.
Yeah, your dad's nodding pretty heavy.
No, yeah, he was like, I used to go to the library every night, and this is before I had
Right.
visited Ohio State, and so we went to Ohio State to go on a tour, and he's like, we drove by it, and I said, wait a second, that's called the library.
The library.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Yeah.
it's not the same there anymore.
Yeah, I was a North Campus resident, so I remember the library, the varsity club, the Thirsty Eye, which is now Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's
and,
just so
and
different.
everything's different.
Let's
Everything's
go to
different.
Larry's. And
Larry's
Bernie's was good.
Larry's was good. Larry's, when I was in school, everybody
Yeah.
they put out a thing that Larry's was a gay bar, so they could keep all the riffraff out.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It wasn't a gay bar.
Okay.
So once you figured
It was a
that out,
misinformation
not that
campaign.
matters, but in the '70s, it was a little bit more of,
Right.
of a thing. So, not that I'm dating myself when I say I went to Ohio State.
The Heidelberg. You used to go to Heidelberg quite a bit.
That was the north and south. Yeah.
North and south
If you could
Heidelberg,
make
yeah.
the trek from north to south, it was a good night.
What about
Save yourself. Leave me. I won't make it.
what about Johnny's Grill right on Fifth?
Oh, Johnny's on Glen.
Johnny's on Glen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
That's-
great old school
Yeah,
bar.
it's good stuff.
Beautiful.
One of my favorites for sure.
Johnny's.
Yes.
Yeah.
And apparently the only way you could ever consider buying it out is if you were like in the family.
Right.
And so at one point my dad tried to like sell me to one of the sons basically
Nice.
so he could buy the bar.
As a
He
good
was
father
like-
would do.
He was like,
he was just looking at the
are any
your
of your
future.
sons single? My daughter here is willing and able
like dowry?
to marry. Yeah, like a dowry.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm right here. I am right here.
So
but
apparently the sale didn't
it's
go
like
through. Yeah.
luckily,
Oh, that's
Oh
too
my God.
bad.
yeah, it's we're really taking a turn. So the event,
No. That's a good turn. The event is at FADO'S.
This is the fun part.
October 11th,
huh.
and they're gonna do tastings of this single barrel. I
This
believe.
Clyde Mace single barrel, yeah.
And I think they're gonna have some other tasting
Yes.
kind of features available. They're gonna have appetizers.
What's the date on that?
October the 11th.
It's,
Mike
Wednesday.
Messina is gonna be there.
He's going to be hosting.
Yeah. hosting.
What's that entail? What are you going to do for hosting duties?
Well,
I don't know. Yeah, just gonna wait for all the details will be first.
Yeah. He's
Wait
going to
till they
do
tell you
whatever.
what to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Welcome to the world of hosting. They never tell you. They never give you an agenda.
Yeah,
And if they do, they change it. So get ready.
Yeah, I don't care about is it agenda or is they changing it? Is this what it is? What it is?
I think it's going to be like your first test run in marketing in a way, right?
That's
Right.
true. Yeah.
You have the opportunity to buy bottles because the proceeds
Yes.
of some of the
Yeah,
some of the
so
proceeds from the bottle go
I
to
don't
DSACO.
understand how all the liquor laws work, so I'm not exactly sure. I know you can kind of retain your right to get a bottle or something like that because it is a single barrel, so you have to. There are only a certain number of bottles available.
Only a certain
Gotcha.
amount. Only one. Yeah. Only.
So I
I don't know
that
how many
lingo in that
bottles
world-
this particular barrel was yielding,
like
but
200 or something.
200.
Like
So
that.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did anybody from DSACO or your team have anything to do with the choosing of the bottle of
Only
the barrel?
label.
Okay.
So
All right, okay,
I
okay.
have no. I wish.
Maybe
But
it'll flop, and then you can say, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, honestly, we were approached about this a couple months ago, and we were just excited to have this kind of opportunity, and especially when it's Down Syndrome Awareness Month, and it's a single barrel, so there isn't anything else like it out there, and having our brand included on that is just kind of a cool thing overall, and we're really honored that, I mean, there's some connections to that brand.
Right. The CEO
Yeah.
and owner of Clyde Mays has a daughter who has Down syndrome.
Yep. And then the original founders, I guess, also had a connection. His aunt had Down syndrome. So it's an interesting history there where there are these connections. And, you know, whatever they say about Kevin Bacon, he ain't got nothing on people with Down syndrome because the degrees of separation are less than, I mean,
Yeah.
way less.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like
two.
I think
Two,
I
probably,
made
yeah.
reference to that,
Yes.
this morning on you were on
Yeah,
Sunday Night Five this
yes,
morning,
you
and I said
did.
that the degrees of separation become less and less.
Yes,
which is
yeah.
great because that means that there's more awareness
Yeah.
and there's more connections. So the less and less the degrees of separation there are, that means that we're coming together and meeting families and discovering and making discoveries and making those separations almost one-on-one, one-on-two at the most.
Yeah, it's you know, in high school I did kind of this performance where at the time as a teenager you could talk about anything that was kind of going on in your life. It was not it was just meant to be, you know, about the hard stuff that you deal with as a teenager. And for me, it was a focus on not the hard stuff being Alex, but just the hard stuff of worrying about my brother. He was going to be coming to high school when I was leaving high school. And so I'm kind of this big older sister who's always checking in on him. And after I did that performance, I wish I had done it sooner. I did it my senior year. But after that, more people came up to me that had a connection to Down syndrome or the disability community who I had gone to school with since, you know, 4th grade. And I just never knew. And so I think part of it is in the awareness piece is just talking about it. And then to me, what I'd like to see is taking it a step further and figuring out ways to be inclusive, authentically include people like Mike in the community. And so even if you're not getting involved with DSACO, figure out a way in your own life how you could get to know and include people with Down syndrome and other developmental disabilities into your life, because it's going to be a game changer for you in the most positive way that you never even could have imagined.
I totally agree. How much do you think I mean, because now you just said, you know, your brother was born in 1985.
85, yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that all these memories are embedded in your head. How much has perception changed from the time your brother was growing up and was, you know, a toddler and a young teenager to now being an adult? How has the perception of Down syndrome and the awareness changed over the course of those decades?
So, I mean, being a sibling, it's a completely different perspective than a parent. You know, there were things that I probably wasn't privy to. There were things that I probably was privy to. I'm not proud, maybe can't decide if I'm proud or not, but like when I was really young, maybe 5, I remember a little neighbor making fun of Alex. and I punched him.
Yeah, there you go.
Jason.
Right on, man.
Wherever you live, Jason.
Jason.
Like,
Jason.
I'm not sorry. No, just
Yeah.
kidding. I never think that, violence is the answer.
No, but at that
crystal
particular
clear.
point, it wasn't
But
violence; it was defense.
I
You were
was
5.
kind of 5 and also didn't really know. It was the first time I ever remember someone kind of really saying something bad about Alex that had nothing to do with his behavior or anything like that. Like, kids throw blocks or do whatever, and that's fine. But this was not that. So I have that really clear memory. And I also remember not getting grounded. Thanks, Dad. And, that...
He had it coming.
I know, and Jason didn't really talk about it much, after that. Like, I think he told his parents to realize, like, maybe it wasn't a good look. So, but I remember that. In some ways, I think it's changed a lot. In other ways, sometimes I think that people get put in boxes more now than before. So maybe if they never knew anybody with Down syndrome in the 80s, they really didn't know what to expect. And so maybe in some ways at that time, it was more just, I don't want to get to know you, or I'm not going to get to know you because it's this unknown,
I got you.
It's like fear of the unknown and whatever.
Didn't have the tools to to deal with what kind of interaction or relationships. they
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's an interesting thought process. The more that we come out of a box and embrace and learn something, by the same token, it comes does a 180 and you go back into a box.
Yeah. So
That's
now
great.
that Alex is 38, I see times where people are like, "Oh, Down syndrome. Like, this is where you go. This is what you do." And I'm not gonna knock Kroger, but I'm gonna say that it's like, "Oh, well, people with Down syndrome go work at Kroger." Well, no. Not. I mean, Mike doesn't have a problem working there, but that's not really where he wants to work anymore. And that. But I think
He's grown out of it.
like
Yeah.
that box kind of moved with him in a way
Sure, yeah.
where it's like, well, this is where he goes. And so no one's really thinking about what else he might want to do or what he could do or what he's more than capable of doing, by the way. It's more like, well, that's where he goes now because, like, that's what we know about people with Down syndrome. And so,
Out of my hands.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think it's like, it's just evolved.
Does that frustrate you, Mike?
Not really, but I've been doing this since I was like 19 years old. Towards Kroger.
Right.
I've been working at Giant Eagle up in Cleveland, Ohio. I have 2 of them I used to work at.
Yeah.
And then towards when I moved in 07 up here, then I started working at Kroger.
But you
Right.
want a different,
Yeah.
like, you've texted me multiple times saying, do you know anyone in marketing? I really
Yeah.
want to explore other things. And those doors don't open the same way. And I'm not knocking you. It's just that people are like, oh, he has a job, so it's okay. But if you or I was like, we're unhappy in our jobs, people, it's just different. It's different. And so I think that we've come a long way. Let me be clear. Since 1985, things have changed. The medical community and how they respond to the diagnosis has evolved. Not perfect every time, but we're getting better.
Yeah, even the understanding of it.
Yeah, and the healthcare has changed in a positive way, and education has changed depending on where you are for the better. And there's a big asterisk there because things are so different district by district. But in a lot of ways, in employment, things have evolved. It's not just a workshop anymore where you're going to go and sit and really not do a lot. And for some people, that is good for them. That's a great environment for them to be in. But for people that were underemployed, that wasn't enough for them. And it's really just looking at what each person wants. And I think the more people you get to know in this space, even for me, I have a brother with Down syndrome. He is just one person with Down syndrome. He is not like Mike. They like some of the same things. WWE seems to be a big thing.
Oh yeah, it is definitely. I got my girlfriend into it.
Just saying, there are definitely commonalities.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ric Flair and just like
I have other co-worker I
John
work with.
Cena.
Also, his name is Mark Emerald. He's Down syndrome also
he has Down syndrome.
Yeah.
So I think there are these things that certainly, like these hasty generalizations that have some truth to them, just like anything. But are all people with Down syndrome always happy all the time? No. But I think Mike gives, even just in his response to your question, gives a great illustration. He's chill.
He's like,
I'm figuring it out. I'm like, we're raising hell.
I know.
That's
what I said. That's what I said earlier. I said I get so envious and so jealous of the demeanor sometimes,
right.
the chill, the openness. Like, okay, and how you deal with things.
Like not sweating the small stuff is
Right.
one of the big things that I've learned from.
Like, damn it! I
Alex
wish I could
and-
be like that.
I
And
know.
see, I'm kind of jealous from people at work at Kroger. They have better marketing than I have, but I know a lot more. I explain that to them a lot because I want to do that myself.
Yeah.
Become a leader of it, but they're not giving me any chances.
Yeah, and they don't give
And
you the
that's-
hours
that's-
you want.
And that's what I said. Is
all
that
stuff.
frustrating? Is that when I asked you, do you get frustrated, and how do you deal with that frustration? And
Just like I get frustrated if I can't even do anything I'm doing, if like whatever. But I do walk away from it, and I do whatever, and then come back to finish my job, do whatever before I get out of there.
But you know what you do, and you might not even realize you're doing it. You tap your network.
yeah.
You tap your network. You start checking in with people, and the way that you built your network was being in a community that is extremely inclusive, right?
Yeah, that's why mom put me in this community because it's helps me a lot more. I have more friends here I used to have.
You can walk around.
I can walk around and whatever. I used to walk everywhere, like whatever, but it's like it's really good thing, but I like it a lot.
You're independent.
Yeah. And plus now I'm doing things on my own now. I tell my bosses what I need to get myself back on track on or anything else, and I do anything by myself because I have no staff anymore because I do anything by myself now.
You hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Not many adults at all. do
Yeah,
that.
no kidding. I was saying,
I have trouble with that myself.
Yeah, I got friends.
I actually think you might have a
Yeah.
thing in life coach, like
I mean,
being a
come
life
on.
coach or something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that is one thing that I do see often in adults with Down syndrome in particular is, they care a lot and they're very genuine and authentic, and I've heard a lot of friends of people with Down syndrome and other developmental disabilities say you kind of like know who you're getting, and that's an incredible gift.
Isn't that kind of refreshing?
Kind of like just like know like
Yeah.
this is Mike and he's gonna say what he thinks and it's not gonna be like nasty
No.
or like offensive. He just says what he thinks.
It's gonna be truth.
Yep.
And
It's gonna,
It's face value.
Always.
Right?
yeah,
it's gonna be truth.
always.
Because
And
it's
sometimes truth is hard.
it is hard, but it's doing things. But sometimes people just like don't want to get on me. But I just like let it go. Who cares and do whatever.
Yeah.
I can do things on my own and.
All right, so that being said, and we've commented on the fact that you're chill and you're calm and you're cool, but if we're going to talk about all the different range of emotions that you possess and all the qualities you possess, what makes you mad?
Nothing makes me mad. Based on if
What gets you
somebody,
pissed off?
If we, I don't know about that. It's based on that's back in the past, but that's like I used to
Maybe
have
we
that.
shouldn't be digging this stuff up.
Yeah, but I get a lot of mad sometimes based on like I don't know. And I used to have that, but I think I control it.
You control it.
I control it now because
So you've found ways to deal with anger.
yeah,
so
I
you don't.
Can you teach Dino some of your strategies?
Yeah, because I'm telling you what.
Yeah,
It's like I try really hard to keep my fuse long and not short. And I've always been a long fuse guy. Like you got to do a lot to really get me angry. But then when
Yeah.
it's
I don't know. The older you get, Dana,
Yeah, I do
the shorter
push
it
a lot of people a lot lately. Sometimes they get mad at me,
Mm-hmm.
but I do mad back, whatever. But I do cuss at them. But I do come back and apologize.
Oh, that's
always nice.
That's
Yeah.
the main goal. That's how you control it, and go out and breathe and walk around in a bit, and then back to normal again.
There you go.
Anything else? That's how you control it.
apologizing.
Well, you're a
is
better
big
man than
step.
some other people that I know, because there are people that would curse and do all that stuff and would never think twice about an apology afterwards. So cheers to you, friend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't mean,
Cheers.
well, okay,
All
we
right,
can
no,
do that.
all
That was just an
cheers.
expression, but we can,
No,
we can take
I
a
think
sip.
Mike deserves a full cheers.
we can take
What's
a
your
does.
Mike? What's your favorite cuss word?
I have none very cuss words.
Oh,
come on!
He's not going to pick a favorite. He loves them all.
They're all his children.
He loves all of his curse words.
I don't have a favorite. How do you do
buy
that?
And I have no favorites. It's just like, it's just sometimes I say random favorite ones, but not as
You go through
bad.
phases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All
But
right.
yeah.
Just be careful where you use the F word.
Oh, I do.
You gotta-
I do. I always pay attention to it a lot and try not to stress me out as much.
Sure.
Are you a Browns fan? Because
Yes, he is.
And yes,
then
I
you,
am.
you would probably
Yes, he
spill out a
is.
few
There's
F-bombs.
a-
there's a lot of
Watching
things
those
I
guys.
remember from that interview a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That still stick in my. But you know what? Even then, in that interview, I said I was a Steelers fan, and he took the high road. He took the high road. And said
That's great.
Steelers are good. My family, I have some family from Pennsylvania, and they
Yeah.
like the Steelers.
Yeah, my
He
mom's
did do
sister.
that.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I was
Because,
there.
I was
MGM
ready for him to razz you.
Yeah.
and he didn't.
And speaking of Browns game,
Yeah.
I'm going one this Sunday, this afternoon.
You are against the Ravens?
Yes.
Nice.
On
Oh.
a bus trip I'm going on with my
A
sister
boys
again.
trip.
I'm
Yeah.
totally jelly.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
gonna be awesome.
Well, this is the one time I'm going to be rooting for Cleveland like nobody's business.
Yes.
Beat those dirty birds.
Yeah.
Beat those
Oh,
Ravens.
yeah, they will. I do not like the Dirty Bulls at all.
I do not like the dirty birds either.
Because those Dirty Bulls are my Browns players.
Yeah. Yes.
As a Bengals fan, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Right
And the team.
And yeah,
officially-
I don't care about the Bengals, but if they do not play the Browns.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Oh, good man. Good
Yeah,
man. That's fine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because if they play the Browns, I always go to the Browns, but not the Bengals.
It's very
But
diplomatic of you.
if the Bengals does not play the Browns, I think that goes to the Bengals also.
Mike, I know you have your heart set on marketing, but like if you want to think about politics, I think you have a chance here. You know?
It's kind of both. Politics and
It could be-
marketing.
I
is the
love
same
you
thing.
more.
Okay,
Mike.
Yeah. Just think about it. You know?
I can
Because
see that.
Yeah.
someday I hope someday I'll become a president sometime in the near future.
There you go.
All right. Why not?
Well, you were a board president already.
Yeah.
You've been there, done that like 5 years ago.
Yeah, because I think I want to go back to it again somehow.
Oh,
With marketing, go with it.
Okay.
Combined is one.
okay. See, marketing. That's the thing.
There you go.
So I think that's the thing that I dig the most about you is that you're still thinking and dreaming about stuff. There's people, that are you said you're 43 years old?
Yeah.
43 years old. I know that there's people that have just stopped dead in their tracks in their 40s and have just given up.
Wait a second. What do you mean by people?
I'm talking about people.
Oh, you're not talking about me.
You're not
we're
talking
right
about.
here.
I'm not talking about any present company.
Sitting right here.
I'm just talking about. That's what I. That's what
He was
I hate
striking
to-
some nerves.
I
He's
hate to
talking
keep
about different kind of people. wanting the board.
recycling.
You
I
didn't
hate
say
to
any
keep
names.
recycling things, but the fact that the dreams and the hopes and the perseverance are still there, I think those are lessons that you can impart on people, because I know a lot of people, they just give up and have decided this is as good as it's going to get. You don't believe that this is as good as it's going to get.
No.
No.
But it's also, you can celebrate that it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, the little things are good.
I heard this thing one time. This gal was talking about women in a shelter, and this phrase stuck with me. She says they don't ask beyond of what's present. So basically, they're just like, we're just glad to be here, And I always thought that registered with me. That's a good way to live life. Like, we're here, we're with friends, we're drinking liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, that's the way I try to look at life. I'm whatever, older.
You're 50, right?
Older,
Yeah.
yeah, I wish.
49, I thought.
I
When did you turn
wish that
50?
even more. Yeah, but there's people say so. You could just kind of coast and ride. No, there's still like a dozen things I still want to do and want to do and have to do before it's all said and
So
done.
yeah, that's the thing that I feel like people with Down syndrome and other developmental disabilities, there's a fine line in all of us, right? Of just being like satisfied with what you've got, but like also wanting more. I think what is different sometimes with us versus people within the developmental disability community is because some of the basic rights are not offered. And so, yes, they're okay, but we know that they would probably enjoy the kind of equality that like all of us are afforded just kind of off the cuff, right?
Right.
And so just
And
as
they're
an
not.
example, we just recently launched at DSACO a program called Adult Literacy Ohio. And this is not something that should be groundbreaking. I'm saying that it is because it is, but it shouldn't be. And all we did was approach adults with Down syndrome and ask them, do you want to learn how to read? No one had asked them. And they didn't learn in school because right now with our school system, they learn to some degree. But if they weren't making progress at the pace that other students were, at some point they switched to life skills. And life skills, believe it or not, does not include literacy.
Yeah, isn't reading part of life
So
skills?
it's at 14. It's good stuff. It's still good stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to be clear, I'm not knocking educators or the system at all. They have been godsends, particularly since 2020, but well before then. And it's a systemic problem is my point. But as a consequence, they're learning how to do life skills, cooking, things for employment. But I would argue that part of employment is learning how to read and knowing how to read. Right. But that's not happening. So when I say that all these people were fine in their lives, they're happy with their lives. Yes. But we asked 50 people with Down syndrome at a conference that we host, would you want to learn how to read? And within 24 hours, one weekend that we put this question out there, 30 of them said, yes, please. No one had asked them if they ever want to learn how to read. So we have invested our own dollars from things like the Buddy Walk to just pilot something. There's nothing that existed. None of our systems offered anything to help people with developmental disabilities or Down syndrome learn how to read. So we paid literacy tutors to come in and just see what we saw. We thought, well, maybe they can't learn. We think that they probably can, but let's just try this out. And sure enough, the data is still early. We've only been operating the program for about 18 months, but people who could not text can now text their parents. They can navigate their jobs with less help.
That's huge.
They can go out to go hiking and read the signs themselves. Yeah. And so were they happy before? Yes. I say all that to illustrate that we still have work to do to give them the equity of resources that they deserve.
Amazing. Yeah.
And that's where I love there's so much value in being content. But part of my job and that of other advocates within the disability community is saying, is that enough though? Like, let's just keep pushing here. And so now, I think leaders, state leaders, others are saying, why isn't this something that a waiver funds? It covers help with staff to have someone help you cook, but why wouldn't something like that help him read so that he long-term doesn't need all the staff?
Yeah.
Or whatever, so...
aside from the actual life skill that is necessary in reading, not to mention, you walked in here for the first time, you see books everywhere.
Yeah.
The joy.
Yes.
Just the joy
Yep.
in reading.
Yeah.
The adventure in reading and the education that comes from, reading and so forth and so on. Yeah, to have that not be part of a life, that could just open up a whole literally worlds.
Yes, we
And
have.
now you're writing. Now you're storytelling. Now you're
We had somebody. Asked them to come with their own goals. We are not here to tell you need to do this so you can get a job.
No,
we're not here to tell you. So one person said, "I just want to learn how to read to my nieces and nephews.
That's awesome.
I want to be able to read them books." And what a simple pleasure that they had never had before,
and that we take for granted.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, being able to read to your nieces and nephews, that's what she wanted to do. And now she can do it. And that's, you're right. I mean, it's a simple pleasure of life, but it's also so many other things. It can be just when you talk about navigating your own community and your own world.
It's so funny that you would just make an assumption like that, and nobody asked.
None of our colleagues.
Nobody asked. And
we
it's
have
like
fierce advocates in our field.
That's crazy.
No one had asked.
And I'm not criticizing
No,
when I say that.
me
I'm
neither.
just saying that wasn't covered. We didn't cover
Yeah.
reading in the beginning. We didn't
Yeah.
we didn't put that in the. You know what? Somebody alphabet. It's not in here.
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
in here. It's not in here. Nobody put down the alphabet.
And we're not forcing people who don't want to learn how to read.
Sure.
Because again,
No.
I said 50 people were there, only 30. And I hate to say it, but I did kind of build this program with my brother in mind. Yeah. Guess who didn't want to participate in the program? Are you fucking kidding me?
Is that was his quote?
Yeah, no, that's my quote.
That's your
for
quote.
him. Yeah. It's like, are you kidding me?
I'm starting this program. And
I mean, I'm just like trying to do everything to like change change lives.
He can
My bro is like my total inspiration.
And
I mean, along with, of course, many other people, but like, and then I'm like, do you want to do it? And he's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Nah.
You know what? It sounds great, Kara. Read it to me.
He's like, also, I got a hangnail
Read
here
it to
on my
me,
toe. If you can take care of that too. Like, oh my
Is there a
God.
chance that the other people that they already knew how to read, so that's why they didn't answer the survey? Is there a chance that
To
that
some
happened,
degree,
or-
for sure. I think there are people like Alex that are just kind of like, I'm good. I've been this long in life. Like, if you never had glasses and you've gone your whole life and you're like, if someone's like, do you want glasses? You're like, I'm 43 and I haven't had glasses, so I don't really know that I need them.
Right.
It's a little bit like that, probably to some degree. But even people that knew how to read to some degree didn't necessarily get the comprehension part. So they're reading,
That's a
but
huge
then
part.
they are missing parts. And so now with the program, we make sure those foundational components are covered, which allow for that growth. And anyway.
As we launch into October,
Yeah.
which is Down Syndrome Awareness Month, what do you hope to accomplish with each passing year? And I mean, what do you? I mean, it's like this is our month. This is where we bring up awareness. Is it? I mean, it could be broad, but do you try to focus each year on something in particular? And then because you talked about putting things in boxes. Like we want awareness for Down syndrome completely.
Yeah.
But does each year have like a special note of something that like let's try to let's say if it was reading, let's try to get more people involved in the literacy program.
So we have a strategic plan that's really more of that focus of like what we're going to offer the community, what we're going to fundraise for, what we want to make sure we're tackling organizationally in terms of like what we're offering our contingent. When we talk about the Buddy Walk in October as Down Syndrome Awareness Month, we're really reaching to that broader community. We just launched our campaign for the year, which is all included.
I love it. I wore the T-shirt.
Yeah.
I wore the
Oh,
T-shirt
good,
same
good,
day.
good.
Same day.
So like being all in.
And I got asked about it.
You did?
What's that mean? And I turned around and I said, yeah. I turned around and said, yeah. I love that T-shirt.
All
included.
in.
Who came up with all?
So
That was great.
I think it was kind of a team effort to land on the phrase, but then one of our DSACO dads, Josh Thornton, who's an incredibly talented designer, and Kim Vega, who also helped with a secondary kind of design that we're using this year that complements this, is because the all in is like the big part, and then you can read it as all
That's
included.
marketing right there.
That's marketing right there.
That's marketing right there. You're absolutely right, sir.
So when we look at that kind of campaign more broadly for Down Syndrome Awareness Month, we want people to be thinking about ways, again, that you can look at your world, how you might authentically include, not just as like a placeholder, hey, I got someone here with Down syndrome, and so we're good. We can check that off the list. It's like, no, Mike has gifts and values. We have someone on our team who's a paid employee of ours, Stephanie, who has Down syndrome, and
We interviewed Stephanie.
We interviewed Stephanie.
Steph manages our database better than me.
Yeah, she's
I
amazing.
don't even know how to do it. I have to ask her questions. She manages our phone systems and can transfer calls. I don't know how to do those
No, you
things.
do not.
That's Stephanie. Why would you want to do it?
but she's not just, putting stamps on envelopes. And not that that's even a bad thing if that's what she wanted to do and that was her skill and that's what we needed. It's more than that, though, that there are people who have gifts. Mike is great at public speaking. He is great at getting to know people. He would really do well in a customer-facing role, which he is doing really well at Kroger. But that's not filling him up anymore. And so when we think about being all in marketing.
That's what it is too, Pop, because I try to do everything with marketing with Kroger and trying to get them better.
So if you have listeners or people who are in positions of influence or decision makers in whatever space that is, reach out to a local organization. There are hundreds of provider agencies looking to find volunteer and employment opportunities for people. And actually October is also Disability Employment Month. So it's a good time to be thinking about ways that you're not just it's not charity.
No,
it's not.
it's not.
They bring value. There's data out there that shows the impact of hiring people with developmental disabilities and what that brings to your team. And it's an actual.
See it boosting a team,
Right.
You know.
Oh, the morale.
yeah.
I mean,
And different ideas.
yes,
Different ideas.
Until you pass somebody up for promotion, Mike, then that
Yeah.
then
See, that's what I'm doing right now with boosting my relationship with my girlfriend a lot more because that will be easier how to she needs to learn some stuff.
Oh, okay. You're teaching her things.
Yeah, teaching her
all right.
things to get her life back on track. With her, she needs to do it on her own, and I've been doing it, telling her for ages, and now she's finally doing it by herself now.
She's got to want it.
She's gotta want it.
Just like Alex has got to want to learn how to read.
I know you might be onto
Oh,
something with the
just
whole
dug
life.
at your
You might be
brother.
onto something with the whole life coach.
He needs to
thing.
start a TikTok account.
Yeah.
No, because I did life skills.
Oh, that's a way to start the marketing thing.
Yeah, Angie, I did.
Little tidbits of info.
I used to do life skills. I was in back in high school.
Uh-huh.
They teach me how to do like based on like sort of things, and you could do with like controlling it, how you doing. Sometimes there's cooking classes we have at high schools, or building things, whatever, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But I used to do what called a career center.
The
Also,
career center.
and they sometimes they do like job searching, that kind of stuff,
Right.
like marketing, like what like that.
But it's only as good as the job opportunities that they can find, right?
That's
And
what we
employers
did.
need to be open
And
to
that eyes need to be open a little wider
Yeah.
and look
Yeah.
past.
Because I do sales service at Colorado Career Center, and that's why I know about marketing. And I went to a 2-year program up in Chicago to do the same thing.
We talked about that in
Yeah.
our
Yeah,
interview.
that's
with
right.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we should before we leave, we should tell people how to access those videos as well.
Yes.
That we did that wonderful series
Yeah,
of
we
videos.
did. So
Angie, I still have that YouTube.
it would be on YouTube. It's also, if you go to DSACO.net,
I think it's that.
Extraordinarily Ordinary, would that be it?
That was
Yeah.
extraordinarily
Yeah, that's it.
ordinary.
Yeah, I think it's ordinary.
And that whole premise, I mean, it's kind of like a tongue twister of a name, but it's like Mike is he's more like us than he is different. And so he is extraordinary, but that was a little bit of a play on, you see these things on the news and it's like the story of somebody that, they're actually a 3-point ringer and they've been in this other, just on the sidelines, their whole high school career or whatever. And then the very last play of their final game of their final season, they put him in, and it's like, well, and that is it's a story to tell for sure, but it's not necessarily the day to day. Mike's day to day looks a lot like ours.
Yeah,
and
That's why I have problems with high
but
school.
I don't think
because
people would expect that.
Extraordinarily ordinary. That
Yeah.
you were our first interview,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy all the interviews. I did. I loved each and every because they're each unique and
It was a
different
fun
in their own
series.
way.
Really
but
fun.
what a great way to kick it off. I mean,
Yeah.
we got into all kind of stuff.
Dino called me afterwards and said, "I think I just have to stop now. It can't get any better than this."
Yeah, it was great.
right.
And I said,
I
"I knew
did.
you'd like him.
I
I knew
did.
you'd like
I
him."
did not have this back in Cleveland, Ohio at all.
Yeah.
Because I was like in high school that year. I was causing troubles in high school and that kind of stuff. And I could, I want to get out of that. I was sidelines like all my life. I was a kid, and finally, my sister didn't come. My sister would not come back to Cleveland. Because she went to college down here in Columbus. We decided. That's when my mom decided to move down here. Begin with.
And you have a community here.
And I have
great community
That's
here.
why you got more community here than I used to have. Like a Cleveland, I didn't have community over there. It's just everything I have, like was work and go to the gym all the time, and not the boss as much that I used to have.
He goes to the gym more than you, Dino.
He goes to the. All he has to do is go to the gym once to go
I was
more
at the
than
gym
me.
today.
Today?
You did? You
I went to the gym today.
Yeah.
I bought a treadmill. It doesn't have any clothes hanging on it yet, but
well,
Yeah, it will.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
maybe in the winter.
I mean, look, you go to the gym, you socialize more than I do. You probably go out to bars and restaurants and see people more than I do. I mean,
Yeah.
you do a lot
likes
of
that
things
skills.
more than I do. My world has gotten so isolated Shame on me. Shame on me.
It's not shame on you, but
Yeah, shame on me.
No,
All right,
not
talk
really.
me out of it. Market. Go ahead, marketing.
Okay,
Here we go.
This is marketing. This is like, I'm gonna tell you right here. You have to make a better schedule to make that better.
Organization, Dino.
Sounds like child psychology.
No. It's brilliant. It's so simple. It's brilliant.
If you don't schedule it, it doesn't happen, right?
That's true.
Yeah, because if you make it,
Thank you.
Make a better schedule.
it's better schedule and organizing it. That's what I'm doing.
I'm
with
telling
my-
you, just think about life coach. Just think.
That's
about
what I said earlier. Yeah, think about life coach.
Just
What are you
think about
doing?
it.
Andy, because
And that could be your TikTok videos. Life coach
Yes.
moments
Yep.
from Mike.
Let's
It's
think
the little
about
things.
it.
Coach Mike.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
Coach
do.
Mike.
Coach,
Yes.
Terry,
And
set him
the,
up with a TikTok account.
I don't know how to do TikTok.
I don't know how to do TikTok.
He probably knows how to do TikTok.
Yeah, I do.
Get yourself a TikTok account.
I do.
All right, you have one?
Yeah.
Turn that in.
All right, call it Coach Mike.
Coach
I
Mike.
will.
Yeah, Coach Mike.
Because
Coach M is
Let's-
cooler.
Coach
Andy,
M.
hold on a second.
Ooh,
I used
love
to.
that.
I used to be. My brother-in-law get me into this coaching Hamilton Township. That's why I know how to become a good coaching for that for football.
But you can be like a life coach. Like you can
A
give
life
life
coach.
lessons,
Yeah.
like you just
You
gave
just
to
gave
Dino.
me. You just schooled me very quickly, and it's like I threw out my. Here's what I don't do. Here's what I don't do. You do this more than I do. And in one sentence, you went.
What's schedule?
No,
Schedule it.
No, and you know, Andy,
God damn it.
Right?
Angie, this is you go
This
with.
is actually pretty simple.
Angie,
Dino.
Yeah, right.
It's based on schedule,
Complicated.
organizing, but you things you don't need, what you need to do for your life. Get better on track on that scheduling and organization. Get that better first before you do the other ones. What's your weakness are?
And what you said earlier about how you've worked on ways to not let things anger you, like people could use that skill.
We're not kidding. Like you have to do this now.
Hell yeah.
Everyone's listening. Can we all
Angie-
hold Mike accountable to this?
Yes.
Angie, yeah. Because I love that. but back in high school, I didn't have that. That's the thing. Because in
high
high
school's
school
tough.
and even else, like I finally now to where I grew up. I was like whatever. Back I was born in 1980. No one first one being like my sister. I was born before my sister was. I'm the oldest in the family, and my sister's the youngest. But I finally know how to get to high school and to college and anything else I could learn to do anything by myself. That would be. I finally got my life back on track now. I'm 43 years old. I could go to the gym and do anything what I gotta do, and I'm finally make my life better with me and my family and communicating with them a lot more.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Good one too.
Great. That is awesome.
This is
Millions
like
of Americans who
incredible.
can't do that.
I'm not laughing. I'm
It's
laughing
beautiful.
at how
a
simple
ha- it's a happy
simple
laugh.
it is
It's
because
true.
we make things so complicated.
Right.
And you just kind of like I'm laughing
it
at
down.
how simple you just kind of laid it all
It's
out
true.
there.
It's
But it's
true.
true.
It's happy laugh. That's what it is.
Yeah, happy life.
Happy laugh.
And you are a happy man, and you are the greatest guy yet, whatever you have in your life you are now.
Thank you. Well, he's right. He's right. I got a lot to be happy
It's
about.
incredible.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
your
what
first.
that's what
happy
Kari
laugh.
Jones is doing right now for her life, because her life is a good step higher up.
It's getting there.
And it's getting there, but you're actually doing it for yourself. And that's a good thing.
Yes, I am. Wow, you really do know a lot.
Wow. Okay.
Do what you love. That's the concept.
Do
We have a pretty big audience,
Angie-
Mike. We have a pretty big
Angie-
audience for this podcast. I think that maybe after this is all said and done, that
That was a straight
we
goal.
might be onto something.
Andrew, with your life, you need to get.
Oh,
your
wow.
life probably
Yeah,
get better.
everybody's
It's
getting
good enough.
What's that?
Your life is getting. When you went up there, you're doing this with Dino, and this is the good thing to help to get people come into this place and try to be more independent, try to get their life back on track with certain people with disabilities.
He's helping.
Cheers.
Oh yeah, cheers
All right.
to that.
I'll
take
And
it.
he's
You
helping
got it.
Dino get
All right,
life
now
on
do
track.
John.
Yeah.
Now do John and do Chip.
And John's the same way, but with more different way to do it.
Okay.
Everybody teaches us how to do videoing and marketing, and that's the good thing right there.
Yeah, it's fun. Do what you love, right?
Yes,
Is that
it's
what
what
you're
you
saying?
love.
What about Chip? Chip's new to the group. He just joined us like
You
in
don't
the
know
last
Chip.
6 months.
Me, so
You don't know Chip.
understand if you don't have any
No,
insights.
Andy, that's his life with that because he just is new, but he will learn that I'm in the ladder.
On the ladder.
Yeah.
There's a
You're
ladder.
on the ladder.
You're open the ladder.
You're on the ladder, and we're holding the ladder, making sure you don't
Yeah,
fall
that's
off
right.
of it.
Yeah.
You could be off the
Just
ladder.
stay on the ladder and never get off of it.
I love it. That's perfect.
That's a quotable if I've ever heard one.
Don't get off the
All
ladder.
right, we got to start
I'm gonna
wrapping.
start doing Mike's podcast.
I just lost my producer.
I love it. I love Mike. This is like such a beautiful illustration of just like Mike has so many complexities to who he is, and you would never know that if you didn't get to know him.
Get to know
and,
him.
And he is so
that's
different
it.
than my brother. My brother is one of my favorite people on the whole planet. But he's not like Mike. He's different than Mike, besides the WWE thing, like I said earlier. But it's like, it's just such a beautiful thing. We do this improv class on Monday nights, and I went in on Monday. I dropped my brother off and just sat in on it for like 15 minutes and laughed my ass off.
How are
Had
those
the
going?
Best time. It's going. It's
Because
going.
I was approached by you guys years ago
Yeah,
to actually do.
It's really cool.
Who's teaching
teach-
it? Who's
to-
teaching
I
We
was
have a guy named Jake who
I was asked to
yeah,
teach
yeah.
and do them, and I couldn't do them. I didn't have the time.
I
and-
know.
and I regret it still.
It's it teaches, a lot of times people are trying to think, how do we teach someone to listen? How do we teach someone to have a conversation? And you of course could do like these like sterile scenarios of like, how are you? And like ask me about like my dogs or whatever, like weird stuff.
You're
But, like-
not going to the improv classes,
But
are
no,
you?
I actually, they didn't ask me to join in any of the games. I have no idea why.
He doesn't
But
know what
they
yes and
call
means.
He's
out.
like, I'm funny. I'm
I
funny.
thought it was
And
funny.
Yes, and
Thanks a lot.
some people are funny, but
an
some
asshole.
people has to do. I don't know.
Wait.
This is the comics. Cause comics more funnier.
Yeah.
But they know how to do. They know how to do everything at a skill level.
Yeah.
Some people doesn't have that level.
Yeah, but do you know what the thing is about improv is you have to listen to the person that's talking, and
That's
you don't
true.
know what they're going to
Yeah,
say,
that's
and
true.
so it teaches you those skills
It's-
of how to listen to someone else
It does.
and carry on a conversation.
And
because
that's why I
that's the
thought
game.
when you guys initiated that program, I thought it was brilliant.
So fun.
To use improv comedy as
Yeah.
a tool to help with
That's
listening
like
skills.
just like animals. You do improv with animals. You could be like one of the animals, and you do whatever. And like a farm animals, you could just do impressions or whatever.
Oh.
That kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, you
if
can.
you were
That's
okay, so if
improv.
you were an animal, what animal would you be?
I'd be like a smart monkey or something.
A smart monkey. Monkeys are
those are
smart.
monkeys.
You'd be like an even smarter monkey then, because monkeys are already smart. So you
Yeah, that's what. Cause like monkeys a lot more because they think smarter. They think whenever they do their.
They do whatever they want.
They do anything they want. They
Yeah.
can sing tweets or whatever, that kind of stuff.
They kind of like
Yeah,
steal things
last
from
last
people
time
if
I
they want.
last time I saw a smart monkey, he threw his shit at me.
But I think it's some monkeys that still have bad attitudes.
Okay. Yeah. They're mad about something.
Yes. Yeah. But I bet after he threw the shit, he felt better.
Yeah, he did.
And maybe he apologized. You just don't know it. You never
There you
know.
go. Because based on the look. Mhm.
Yeah.
Smart monkey.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, let's remind people of a couple things. One, I've already mentioned it. October, Down Syndrome Awareness Month. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Reach out, learn more. If you want opportunities, Kari, if people want to learn more about Down syndrome and what DSACO does and what you can offer and what you can offer as a citizen and what you can get involved with and what you guys offer as well. How do people find out about it?
Yeah, so I would say that, you can follow us on social media to hear the different stories we have. It's DSACO, Down Syndrome Association of Central Ohio. We do have the TikTok. I don't know. But we have Facebook and Instagram for those things. And does that make me sound old? if I
Yeah, the
say
TikTok did make you
TikTok?
sound old, yes.
Yes.
The Twittering.
Twittering?
That's not even that anymore, right?
No, it's Xing
not.
now.
The
It's
Xing.
The Xing.
Anyway, we also have a website, of course, DSACO, DSACO.net, and you can go there and
Check out those
see.
videos.
Yeah, you can check out the videos. You can
links.
see different programs. Yeah, there are links, and we have things really designed by age. So if you're wanting to get involved because you have a loved one with Down syndrome, you can click on kind of this lifespan chart to see what's more applicable based on the age. And if you want to volunteer, we have this awesome we finally pulled the trigger on having a volunteer coordinator that we have part-time on our team, because it's this weird juxtaposition or dichotomy, I guess, that you have when you're in a nonprofit space, because people want to donate their time, which is extremely, extremely valuable. But somebody has to manage that. Right. And so, but no one wants to pay for administrative costs of things with nonprofits. They want it all to go towards, but you have to have someone's got to, I always say at Starbucks, someone's got to make the coffee.
Right.
You can't just order what you want and it just pops out. Somebody's got to make it. And so similarly in the nonprofit space, somebody has to do the work. And so we hired someone who's part-time with us. Katie is her name, and she's a volunteer coordinator. So if you want to get involved and volunteer with us, that's extremely valuable to us. Of course, we love cold hard cash. We love that.
Let's be honest.
Because things like our adult literacy program, we did that with cash that we had, that no one said, you can only use it for this thing. We were like, this is the need. We're going to invest here. And we're really grateful that people trust us enough to do that. But it's an ongoing expense. We have new people, extra people that want, a million more
and as
people.
that program grows, which I hope it does.
We could only take 9 in the beginning. Even though 30 wanted to learn, we can only afford, with paying a tutor, a highly educated, trained tutor, to come out twice a week to work with somebody. That's extremely expensive.
How long has that program been going on?
We started that.
I'm kind of curious. I'm
in February of 2022. And so
and have you seen the fruits of that labor?
Oh, yeah. We have some videos that are out there now, which you can see on our site.
That's awesome.
I mean, get ready to cry in the best, happiest way ever. But yeah,
words are amazing. To be able to read,
Nice.
to not have known how to read them, and then to learn how to read them and find out that.
What struck me was the story about a mom stopped me, and I thought she was going to say that she was upset because after a year we had to move her son out of the program because we had all this wait list people, and he had made a ton of progress. So she stopped me and one day, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to talk to her. I'm afraid to talk to her. She's going to be upset with me. She said, I need to show you something. And she pulled up her phone and she said, my Jakey. She starts scrolling through, because you know how people keep their texts for certain people. He never used to be able to talk to me at all. Man. And now I know all the stuff that's going on in his life. He can tell me about his day. He can ask me questions. And I can keep up with my Jakey. And I was hysterical. Not ugly cry, wailing. I couldn't even contain it. I was so happy. But I text people all the time. And I've never thought, this would really suck if I couldn't do this. And of course, there's voice to text and text to voice or whatever.
I don't voice to text. Nobody can understand me.
It's
right? Every time I voice the text, it gets it wrong.
And then it says the wrong word.
Yeah.
And it spells things wrong, and it's whatever. That
doesn't pick up on my dialect.
It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's not really mainstream.
Right.
And so nothing replaces being able to read and write. Nothing. And so, but yeah, so that's, I'm not telling people that they have to open up their wallets. It'd be nice if they did. But we just really want people to get involved in one way or another. And even if it means you never give us $1, but now you engage someone like Mike, and now you think
there are a lot of Mikes.
Maybe there would be somebody that I could
my
hire.
My dad name is Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Coach Mike. So we got Coach Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
And I think it's amazing too. And you're gonna try to shut me up, but you just said something that you said that you bawled, you were hysterical. Somebody who does what you do and have dedicated your life to it, to still be moved, to still be overwhelmed, to still be surprised, to still be amazed, to still be astonished from time to time, and to still be affected, tells me one thing: that you're still in it to win it, so to speak, in a big way. So bravo.
These guys
for
deserve
you.
it.
Yeah.
They deserve it. They more than deserve it. There are some really incredible people, but it's no surprise, as in many industries, nonprofit leaders turn over, and I've been asked before, would you be willing to go in a different space? There's other things in the nonprofit world
right,
you'd be good
sure.
at. I was like, I'm staying here. We need people to go to bat for elevating the voices of families and people with Down syndrome and other developmental disabilities, because it's really all I'm doing is putting a microphone, literally, actually,
tonight,
to Mike's voice.
Yeah, right.
And what he wants and needs. I'm not like thinking I have all the answers. I'm listening and doing that. So it's a really powerful thing. Thank you for the compliment, but really I'm just echoing to others who will listen what families like Mike, Mike's family, my family, people like Alex, what they deserve.
You're again, I'm not going to continue to blow smoke or heap
It's
praise,
awkward
but
But
your dedication to the fact that you constantly approach this job as a work in progress
Yeah.
is kind of the best compliment I can give you, and the work is never done. It will
It's
only
not.
continue to improve and grow, and that is I see that in you as a
Thank you.
person. I like you as a person outside of DSACO. You're fun, you're engaging, you got a great sense of humor.
Thank you.
But it's not lost on me how devoted and dedicated you are, and we've been trying forever, you and I, to put this night together.
Yeah.
I hope this has
This is perfect.
this has been a good experience.
It's beautiful.
for
It's
everybody.
better than I imagined.
But-
When we started talking about this was the fall of 2020. When
Yeah.
we took the buddy walk virtual, and we had Alex's party.
Right,
his
right,
walk
right,
team
right.
met at his house.
Right, we talked about this, and I said I was going to make it happen.
Yeah, he was drunk, but I was like holding him to it.
But we said we'd do it, and I'll be completely candid. I was nervous. I was nervous about it too. I didn't know how it was going to go.
That's why you've been putting me off for 3 years.
Yeah, well, and also the fact that I got to admit, I was nervous about how it would go and so forth. Not so much about the quality of the podcast. I could give a shit about that. This has been a great one.
Thanks, man.
Okay.
But Mike, thank you, because you were definitely an added gem to the mix when I heard you were coming, and you made me feel, as long as I've known Kari, which I've known Kari longer, you've made me feel comfortable with the fact that Mike was coming. I felt like, okay,
It's gonna be good
I got a ringer in
Coach
there.
Mike.
So thank you, man.
Coach Mike.
you're welcome.
Thank
Kari,
you.
you
Thank you.
could get your brother, could you?
No, he was like, I'm
He's like, fuck that.
busy. He was like, I'm busy
good.
right
All
now.
right.
I'm going to be
We
washing my
busy
hair.
not
went
reading.
down a long path, but Down Syndrome Awareness Month,
Yeah.
October. The event at FADO'S at Bridge Park in Dublin,
Yeah.
October the 11th.
Yep.
The doors open up at 6.
Yeah.
Mike Messina will be your host and MC.
Yep.
There'll be wonderful things, silent auction items, and a chance to pick up a Clyde Mays single barrel, which some of the proceeds go to DSACO.
Yeah. Yeah.
As well. So whiskey
Yeah.
and Down syndrome
Uh-huh.
come together to do some good
That's
things.
how it does
The beautiful thing.
Can you buy the bottle like only that night, or can you buy it like else?
The bottles, I can tell you this: the bottles that don't sell at the event
Yeah,
will be available at certain outlets.
Okay.
Whatever's
Okay.
left over, you'll be able to buy them at certain
But
outlets.
it's not guaranteed.
Not
yeah.
guaranteed. But if you want it,
All right.
if you want that special bottle, you should go to the event
Right.
and get it while you can get it.
I want you to know that we're not going to show it right now, but my dad did pull up a picture of me with the owner of Johnny's just to make sure everyone knew that he did try and,
You can show
You
it.
gave it your best shot.
I can't-
Jeff.
I
You
can't
did.
open
You
up
did.
the phone.
You
Open
tried
up
to.
his phone.
just kind of really bringing it
And
all
And
the
thank
way
you for
off
bringing your dad,
script.
by the way.
Yes.
I've
Jeff
always wanted to
Jones.
meet him face to
Jeff
face.
Jeff Jones is a legend.
I've seen
But
pictures.
I met him.
Here, show it to the camera.
Is that Johnny?
The-
This
that's
is
John.
not, his name's not even Johnny.
no,
Yeah.
no.
His name is On Glenn.
Wait, this is the guy that you were gonna be part of the family.
No,
so you could
I'm
buy
not
that?
really sure how it was going to work. As you might guess, I wasn't really on board with the whole concept. But
You would have been eventually.
I want to hang with your dad again after this.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's a whiskey drinker, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he is,
so-
he is. Anyway, I really took it off
Oh,
track
what-
there, but my dad did take the time to pull up this gem.
This gem of a picture.
From
Let me
God
see. it.
only knows
what,
where
What
it
year
is
is that?
This was about a year and a half ago.
You look no different.
Just the same. 39 looks about the same.
39 forever.
40.
Who's the one on the right?
What's
Yeah.
the guy? What's his age? Like
I'm
49?
gonna say he's probably
38.
pushing. I don't want to say because
What could have been?
That looks 80s.
He looks like he's in his 80s.
you
He
know
owns a bar in Grandview. He's only
anything's possible.
Yeah, this-
I just
Yes.
it's fine. It's fine. So let's not worry.
All
About
right,
it.
all right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yes.
All right.
I just
I
wanna
like him
say
a lot,
Thank
too.
you. Oh, you know him too?
Yeah, because I've been, and I went to
Of course you know him.
my.
Of course you know him.
That's why Mitch took me to the day drinking with Johnny's,
Oh,
and that's why I met
Oh, yeah,
him, and
jeez.
he's a good guy to hang out with.
yeah.
And I've been people from customers from Kocel goes there.
Oh.
Also
Well,
I
it
know.
seems like we should just probably reconvene over there at some point just for fun,
We
right?
have not been. We've been to
And because
Meister's.
they
We gotta go to Johnny's.
They have snacks there.
I got snacks here.
Right here.
No, at Johnny's. They have
I know.
snacks there, and they have,
Yes.
sometimes they have hot dogs.
Yeah.
They
got
have
hot dogs.
cheese puffs.
I've been to
Marketing
Johnny's.
for
I've been to,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good
but I
stuff.
haven't been to Johnny's with you or you.
Yeah.
So the trio
Bring
needs
your
to
cash.
reunite. Yeah, bring cash.
Bring
Yeah.
cash only, because it's only cash
But
only.
thank
right.
you guys for having us tonight. It was awesome.
Also
And
want
I
to
mean-
thank Gatto's Pizza. We got so involved in conversation. Normally we eat while we're talking, and we forgot to eat while we're talking. This is our
right.
our unofficial and yet official pizza
sponsor.
sponsor
Go ahead, it's official.
of Whiskey Business. Gatto's Pizza. Got to get a Gatto's.
Gotta get a Gatto's.
Got to get a Gatto's.
What flavor
They're
did
in
you bring
Greenville,
today?
right?
Pop it
Yeah, it's
open.
over in Indianola now.
Yeah,
Used to be
they
on High Street
moved.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's over on Indianola. They took over the old Wildflower space.
So good.
It's
So if
I
you're
love it.
hungry, we're
Gatto's.
gonna eat
Yeah,
some
you're
Gatto's.
a Clintonvillian.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you
What
know
is it, the
you know
12-inch
Gatto's.
what's in the show?
I don't know.
Sausage,
I don't know if we did something
cheese.
wrong because
Oh,
they,
oh, yeah.
I see what they did. They get, you know what?
It's my favorite right
You
now.
know, they're smarter than we are. Normally I said, well, I only gave us 2 mediums instead of 2 larges. But here we said there's 2 medium pizzas and we haven't touched a bite. So,
He knows.
Wow.
thank you.
You guys are pretty legit with a pizza sponsor
It's
and
no big
everything.
deal.
Yeah, they're very
like-
kind to us. They're
Wow.
very kind
They're
to us.
awesome. They have a great sub too.
Yeah, they
Okay.
do.
Okay.
And the sausage sliders, don't forget those. Yeah. The bottle is gone. Thank you, OHLQ, for the Rebel Cash Strength and whoever
pick.
this came from, this pick.
Yeah, Andemic.
And Demick
let
gave us
drink
this,
it.
the
Yep.
rest of it. All
Mhm.
right. Thank you, Annie.
Thank
Love
you,
you.
Ann.
Haven't seen you in a long time. Hope to see you soon.
I told her to come to our Halloween episode.
That's right. Next
Oh,
week.
what a
That's
great
right.
Any other
segue.
business, by the way.
This will drop on Monday, so you'll still have time to come to the Halloween episode.
October 5th, 2023. Whenever you're listening to this, we'll be at the Jury Room, the most haunted bar in
So
all
don't
of
try
Columbus.
this in 2024
Right,
because
yeah,
otherwise
we won't be there.
we won't be there.
Look at our Facebook account, but come on down. A bar opens at 7. The show starts at 8. We got a few guests.
That'd be fun stuff. Yeah. Have
Our
some
favorite
pizza,
season
please.
of the year. So come on out.
All right. On that final note, anything else I need to cover?
Love you.
I love
Thank
you
you.
too. Love you,
Thanks.
Mike.
Love
Thank
Mike.
you.
Great to see you.
Love all
Let's
of
not
you.
make it this long. We did the interviews, then we got together, we had pizza, and then all of
Yep.
a sudden we kind of drifted again. As
Yeah.
we
That's
get
the
busy.
pizza, Mike.
As pizza people,
Yep.
as
How
pizzas
they
do, as pizzas do. Yes, we drifted as pizzas do, as
Yes.
people do.
This is really going off the rails. Someone cut it.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the
Do the quick little how people can find Whiskey Business. Do all that real quick.
Whiskey Business is the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. Thank you so much to Rebel Yell. That was pretty good, right?
It's awesome.
Um,
Really good.
Thanks for subscribing on your favorite podcasting app. What?
I only asked you to do it see if you could remember.
I
that?
wasn't
Come
paying
again?
attention.
I only asked him to do this if he could remember it.
I was caught off
He
guard.
always does it in the beginning.
Whiskey
And
And then
Business
after we start
is
drinking, I do a test to see if he can remember how to do it. I let him go home.
oh God, I gotta remember. Thanks for subscribing on your favorite podcasting app. Like and smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Hit the little bell button,
Ding, 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 ding.
and you get notifications when you do that. Facebook, Instagram,
What is
X.
it on Instagram?
X.
huh?
What's it on Instagram?
Whiskey Business Pod
Yes.
cast, I think.
All right.
Yeah,
Pod.
Whiskey Business
Podcast.
Podcast.
Anyway,
Facebook.
Whiskey Business.
Is this
I don't know,
like a
Chips-
Is this a weird
Chips
pop
been
quiz?
posting.
Yeah, it is.
I failed.
Here's the
kinda
here's the
cruel.
deal. No, I don't know the answers.
I think I set the Facebook page up. So it doesn't-
Long time ago.
I'm allowed to not remember it.
And if you want to watch it
Oh
all
Lord.
live on YouTube, Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis, which
it.
a lot of people do. A lot of more people are watching it on YouTube.
And
which
thanks
is
to
fine.
Evergreen Podcast Network.
Evergreen Podcast Network, our family. I thanked them on LinkedIn just the other day. They were very happy about that.
LinkedIn, how very fancy of
Official.
you.
Right? It's like I'm almost like a professional person because that's like professionals, right?
I don't
Yes,
use
it is.
LinkedIn. I don't know.
And this
Yeah,
semi-professional has snuck in
Yeah, I mean,
and infiltrated the corporate world.
it's very bougie. of
Right,
you,
I'm not
to
bougie.
get into
I'm not bougie.
The LinkedIn.
We're like second connections with so many people now.
I wouldn't think
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
bougie to describe that, but okay.
Do you pay for this?
The
special-
premium.
I could be
premium
boozy.
LinkedIn?
I could be boozy, but I don't know about bougie. Boom. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to tip your wait staff.
Right.
My name is Dino Tripodis, and until the next bottle, see ya.